Well, we got a very well pitched game. I think that's where you have to start because when you keep people off the scoreboard, you have to do something well on the mound. Kumar set the tone. He got us deep into the ball game, which was important. We got two very big hits at the beginning. Troy's hit to clear the bases after it looked like the inning potentially could break down was important with two outs, and then Dom did it the very next inning with the 3-run home run. So that was good. We played pretty good defense, and we started to chip away at the end as well, and played some decent offense at the end too. So it's a good way to start.
Thanks, Coach. We'll now go into questions for Dom Keegan. As always, if you have a question for Dom or Coach, please utilize the raise your hand feature. Chris Lee, we will start with you.
Yeah, Dom, were you sitting on any particular pitches on the home runs? I think the first one came on a fastball. Looked like you just were all over that from the go.
Oh, yeah, they both came on fastballs. That's kind of just my approach is, how to get a fastball that I can get my hands to and put a barrel on.
Arya.
Dominic, what did you see from Kumar today, especially after he struggled a little bit in the SEC tournament?
I mean, he bounced back just like we all knew he would. He's a competitor. He just wants to go out there and compete. And I think what he did tonight was huge. I mean, he kept our bullpen fresh. He threw strikes. He just did a really good job.
Chris Lee, do you have another question? Any more questions for Dom? Excellent. We'll now roll into questions for Coach. If you have a question for Coach, please utilize the raise your hand feature. Robbie, we'll start with you.
Hey, Tim, I guess how pleased were you with how sharp your team looked kind of from the very beginning in this game? Kind of jumping on them right away.
Yeah, I mean, that was important. These games are very tricky. I mean, you can look all over the country and see very good teams throughout the year that struggle in these games. We were very clean, and I think that was the part that we can hang our hat on in terms of defense, pitching, and the offense when we needed it, at least at the beginning, and then as we continued to play through the game. But no, I thought that was a well-played game all the way around.
Do you know what happened with Tate over at second base?
I don't.
Arya.
Tim, what did you see from Kumar tonight, especially after he had some struggles in the SEC tournament?
Well, those are past, Ari. I mean, that you move from one game to the next, and like Dominic said, I mean, he's a kid that bounces back very well, and he moves forward very well. Whether he wins or loses, he moves forward, and he did. And he knows how important this game was. But he threw a lot of strikes. He attacked the strike zone, and he got ahead with his fastball. There were very few times he did get to 3-2, but when he did get to 3-2, he won that count. I think it was only one time. So he just minimized damage. I mean, he only gave up 2 hits and had very few walks. So I thought it was a well-pitched game, particularly getting into the 8th inning for us.
Chris Lee.
Yeah, how happy were you with what you got from Schultz and Smith tonight?
Very good. Yes. I mean, Schultz, I thought, threw the ball very well, threw a lot of strikes. Smitty did the same thing. That's exactly what those two needed. Good contributions for them. It's good that they minimized the pitch count so we can return them at some point in time. But that was very positive.
Joe Rexroad.
How about Carter Young tonight? What'd you think of?
What did I think of him, Joe?
Yeah. How did you think he looked? How is he feeling right now? How are you feeling about his health?
I feel good about his health. I mean, he wouldn't play if he didn't feel like he wasn't capable of doing things defensively and offensively, for that matter. I mean, you saw the left on left. I mean, he has to hit left-handed, but his bats were pretty good. But to have him in there defensively kind of solidifies the infield when you're looking at Dom and Tate and Carter and Parker or Jason. I mean, it's good to have those 4 or 5 guys playing defense, and he certainly helps us up the middle. I thought he played a good game. it's a good game to start with. He hadn't played in a long time since Florida International, so glad he got that opportunity.
David White.
Corbs, what do you know about Georgia Tech, and what do you expect to see from them?
They can hit. I mean, I haven't studied them. I've studied them lightly at the beginning of the week because we take on all three teams at one time in terms of doing a kind of a search and going through scouting reports and so on. But I just refuse to look at an opponent deeply until we get until we play them, because everyone else you don't know who you're going to play. But they can hit. They can really hit. I mean, they've got a lot of sluggers throughout that lineup, and they're strong kids. I seen that. Now I did watch that game today, so. Yeah, they're a team that comes back well. Several times I've seen them on TV where they've had deficits, but they've worked through them and hit their way back. So it's going to be an offensive team that we're going to have to stop.
Arya.
You mentioned how clean the game was. How important was, such a dominant win for, setting the tone for the regional and perhaps reestablishing, confidence with this team?
Well, it's just winning games. I mean, however you do it, I don't think it matters. It's refreshing to win a game like that, and it's good for confidence, but we just got to continue to get better. That's what we have to do. We've got a good foundation of players. We've played well throughout the year. It was a good start, but it's a start, and now it's to the next step.
Robbie.
Yeah, I guess how big is it in regional situations like these to not burn through a ton of your bullpen guys, in a game like this? And like you said, most of your bullpen available tomorrow, and the two guys who did go, limited pitch counts.
It's important. If starter goes deep, it's really important. You saw what happened to Arkansas. You got Cops in the fourth inning. I mean, and with the bases loaded, and that game could have turned over really, really quick. So yes, a starter going deep into a ball game and not having to tap into your bullpen. Schultz and Smith both minimizing pitches, really important.
I think we have time for one more question for Coach. Kayla Anderson, please bring us home.
Hey, Coach, I do have to ask, just with finally a regional here back with things kind of getting back to normal, how was it to just see the crowd here tonight and you guys are able to host again and a full house?
Yeah. I mean, that certainly is different. I mean, the kids deserve that. I just feel like you've through the year, fans, players have been patient, and now you get to a point where we host a regional. You just want as much atmosphere as you possibly can. But it was good to see those people in there. I can't tell you, Kayla, if that was going to happen in the middle part of the year. The fact that the NCAA kind of withdrew their initial statement and went to 100% was a blessing for these kids. I'm just glad they can play in front of people and play in front of atmosphere. And it was pretty good. And, hopefully it continues to get better, but we have a lot to do with that. So hopefully we'll play better so the atmosphere can be better.
Thanks for your time tonight, Coach. Thanks, Dom.
Thanks.
Thanks, Corbs. Thanks, Tom.
Sorry.
We will shortly be joined by Presbyterian.
All right, everybody. Coach Pollock, Jake, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. We are joined by Presbyterian head coach, Coach Pollock, and Jake Wyatt. Coach, we will start with an opening statement from you, and then we will go into questions. Coach, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, I was obviously being on this stage in our first regional. It was really good to kind of see us get out there, get our feet wet. Obviously, we would love a better result, but still just proud of the guys. They kept coming. I thought we found the barrel a few times and the baseball didn't fall, but got to tip your cap. Just an excellent Vanderbilt baseball team that executes, took away a lot of hits, and Rocker was really good tonight. Threw a lot of strikes and just kept us off balance. No way to really string together hits. So I tip my cap in that regard, but at the same time, we're a resilient bunch, and we'll get ready to play tomorrow.
Let's start with questions for Jake Wyatt. If you've got a question, please raise your hand. Aria.
What did you see from Kumar Rocker tonight, and what about him made him so hard to hit?
So for me personally, I was looking for something really early in the count, so I didn't see a whole lot of pitches from him, but I saw him both times, my first two ABs, and he started me with his breaking ball both times, his curveball, and he was kind of hanging it, kind of backing up on him. So that was a pitch I could kind of eliminate off of him. And then after that, it was almost like I was sitting fastball, just looking for that fastball timing. And then, he's got that cutter and slider too. And that cutter kind of just plays right off his fastball. But then when he hits you with that slider, his slider is his go-to pitch for sure. But if you can get to him on his fastball early in the count, even if he throws that cutter and you're not looking for that cutter, you'll still be ready to hit that thing. But he's an electric arm for sure. That's why he's going to be a top 5 pick.
Any other questions for Jake? Jake, thank you very much. Questions for Coach Pollock? Monty, go ahead.
Can't hear you, Monty. You're muted.
I know.
There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Elton, you made some fateful words. You said you were going to hit the fastball on Rocker because nobody could hit his breaking stuff. His ability to throw strikes with his breaking stuff, I thought, really made it tough tonight.
No question. And that was something that we were trying to basically take that pitch to hopefully put ourselves in hitters' counts, but it was tough because he was landing that pitch and just did a really good job. And then when he needed to go, he was pitching around the 293 mark, and when he needed to go get 2 more miles per hour, when he had 2 strikes to put away, he made some excellent pitches, froze us on the inner half, so he's pitching to both sides of the plate. And that's a tall order on the front end, and you can kind of see, Vanderbilt is very confident with him on the mound, as they are with Leiter on the mound as well. So it's just a matter of really being able to string together hits, which is virtually impossible. Looking for a walk and trying to get out in front of something and drive it in the gap or drive it out of the ballpark. But it didn't happen today. He had a great day and really shut us down on the offensive end.
Thanks.
Chris Lee.
Elton, what was that moment like when you step out there for the first time and not just being in your first NCAA tournament, but also playing against the guy who coached and recruited you? Or is that does that all go away once the first pitch is thrown and it starts?
Yeah, at the beginning of the game, obviously, the atmosphere. For me personally, I'm able to kind of separate those things and really do a good job try to do a good job of just staying calm for the guys so that they can take the moment in, but at the same time be ready to play baseball. So once the first pitch is thrown, it's baseball. And so now we're trying to win the baseball game and just get our guys in a position to execute. So, but my hat's off. Obviously, there's a lot of emotions as far as playing Coach Corbin. There's a lot of history there, and mentor of mine. So I understand he got his 900th win today. So I'm very proud for him. Obviously, I would have rather it not happen against us, but at the same time, I totally understand. I get it. But we're still excited. I mean, we're getting our feet wet with this regional thing. Hopefully, we'll be able to repeat and be back here and compete. So now we got to gather ourselves, and just as we would if we lost a game one of a series, we got to find a way to win that series.
Austin.
Hey, Coach. I was wondering what your guys' mentality is going to be for this next upcoming game against Indiana State, and what you are going to be talking to your players about for that game.
Well, Indiana State's got a very good baseball team, so we're confident in our offense. We've tended to over the last couple of weeks have more of a late blooming offense, if you will. Latter part of the game, we tend to string it together and find a way. So I'd like for them to not wait till the end of the game to really get our offense going. And we've got to do a good job of throwing strikes. Haven't settled on a starter yet for tomorrow, but that'll be forthcoming within the hour. And but just not really getting bent out of shape and telling the guys like I did after the game, hey man, we can play with anybody. We just got to execute. And so that's going to be the main focus, is just really locking in, because there's no tomorrow if we don't win tomorrow. So all of our focus is going to be on winning the baseball game tomorrow.
Anything else for Coach? Coach, Jake, thank you so much. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We will see you all tomorrow.
Thank you.